The mayor of Dolton was back in a courtroom today. A business owner took legal action after she says the mayor refused to sign paperwork she needed to open her business. Regina Waldrop was in the court for today's hearing.
This is the third time this year that this case has been before a Cook County judge. Today, the owners of the business are able to walk away with 2 of the 3 liquor licenses they applied for, while Mayor Henyard is facing a serious charge from the judge. Frustration and relief for a small business owner.
It's about time.
Tiffany Kamara left a Cook County courtroom with the liquor licenses she needs to open St. Patrick's, a family-owned restaurant and banquet hall on Lincoln Avenue in Dolton.
This should have been over, like he said, in November.
Kamara took legal action after she says she wasn't able to obtain licenses from Mayor Tiffany Henyard, who also serves as liquor commissioner. On Wednesday, Cook County Judge Cecilia Horan gave Henyard until 5 p.m. Thursday night to sign the licenses, but that deadline not met.
The city girl mayor, she's been at this for a long time. Over a year ago, I reported how she was sabotaging local businesses that she couldn't shake down for money. This business owner here, another black woman, is just one of dozens being destroyed by Tiffany Teflon Tahoe. Mayor Pork Chop has been holding this woman back, refusing to grant her the licenses needed to open her establishment, which caused her to lose a ton of money. On top of that, she had to spend even more money fighting the mayor in court. Well, now the business owner got a victory, and Tiffany Tahoe ended up with a criminal contempt charge after acting out of order in court.
In court Friday, Henyard signed them after the judge threatened her with contempt. After the licenses were signed, the judge found Henyard in indirect criminal contempt, but she wasn't taken into custody.
There are different kinds of contempt. What that means is that in the presence of the court, the mayor was disrespectful to the authority of the court because she was asked by the judge, will you sign the licenses, yes or no? And instead of answering the judge's question, she was, she didn't talk in circles. So because of that, the judge held her in indirect criminal contempt.
Max Solomon is Henyard's attorney.
It's very important for the people to understand that the documents that were signed today had another entity on there.
And so that was the holdup on yours?
That was the holdup. That was the only thing.
Kamara says she's lost time and money. She says she wants Henyard to pay.
We want her to be fined. We want her to pay my client's attorney's fees. And we want damages.
We are wasting money every day. This building, nice building that people could have used, and jobs.
As for that criminal contempt charge, the judge is giving Mayor Henyard time to respond. This matter heads back to court next week. Reporting from Daly Center, I'm Regina Waldrop, NBC5 News.
I'm sorry, but the judge should have locked her up on that charge, just like they would with anyone else. You already know she was acting belligerent. That's just business as usual for the city girl mayor. That building should have been open by now, generating tax revenue for the village. Instead, Tiffany Tahoe was sitting on her licenses, just like she's done with plenty of other businesses, while running up all the village and township credit cards. Let's not forget, a whistleblower came forward over a year ago exposing how Tiffany Tahoe instructed them not to issue licenses to people who didn't support her.
The way she treated me and other people was wrong.
Sabisha Williams is one of 3 former village employees suing Dolton Mayor Tiffany Henyard and the village of Dolton. Williams says the workplace environment worsened about a year before that, starting with the mayor asking her to do things that she says were unethical.
Withhold building permits, business licenses to people that didn't donate to her campaign or just people she didn't like in general.
Williams says she continued to raise concerns about that with the mayor, but she was later moved to the water department before eventually being fired.
I was the only person at that time that knew how to process business licenses, but they moved me to the water department anyway.
I remember covering this a while back. It was no secret that the city girl mayor was withholding business licenses from owners she didn't like or those who refused to donate to her campaign. So it's no surprise she pulled the same move on this woman right here. It's completely wrong and 100% out of order. Now, Tiffany Tahoe has an even bigger problem on her hands. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot. She's wrapping up a years-long investigation into how the city girl mayor took her position over Dolton with a surplus of millions of dollars and drove the village so far in the red it hit a deficit of around $6 million at its worst. Last night, the village gathered to hear more details about that investigation. Take a look.
Good evening, I'm Erica Sargent.
And I'm Joe Donlan. We start here at 6 with breaking news. A long-awaited investigation into a South Suburban mayor's spending is about to be revealed. Dolton has a deficit in the millions and people want to know why.
They've filled the Dolton Park District where at any minute, former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot will present the findings of her nearly year-long investigation.
Our Jermont Terry is there. Jermont, you've been on the story from the beginning. What can we expect tonight?
Well, Eric and Joe, first thing first, we know that Mayor Lori Lightfoot is in the building. She just entered about 4 minutes ago, and I'm told that her investigation will uncover some new mishaps when it comes to finances here in the village of Dolton. Now, this is considered Dolton's financial report. Let's take you inside the meeting right now where we have another camera. You can see that it is packed. Very few seats still available for this meeting, which is scheduled to get on in just under in the next few minutes or so. Now, last year, Dolton trustees hired Lightfoot to get to the bottom of a financial records they say Henyard refused to share with them. A few months back, Lightfoot broke down a preview of what she could uncover. She found overtime, especially with 2 Dolton officers, including former deputy chief, was more than double their annual salary. Lightfoot also revealed the village spent, get this, $40,000 in Amazon in a single day, despite not having an Amazon account. But the biggest discovery? Dolton is operating $3.5 million in the red. Keep in mind, Mayor Tiffany Henyard has been against this investigation from the start. She originally vetoed the probe, but that veto was overturned by board trustees. And tonight, residents tell me they wanted to hear the results of this nearly year-long probe in person. You say you wanted to be here. Why?
History.
Well, we've been fighting this for 4 years.
Do you believe, people might say you want to find out what happened to the money, but you're spending money by paying Lori Lightfoot to actually dig into this?
It takes money to get money.
Now, keep in mind, this is a special town hall meeting, not a trustee meeting as normal. So Tiffany Henyard likely not in attendance. She's not even required to be here.
Whatever, I do what I want.
Lightfoot's investigation puts a huge stamp on how money here in Dolton did not have oversight. And when the trustees raised the red flags back in 2021, the investigation reveals Mayor Henyard and her administration intentionally tried to mislead the public. A packed house at the Dolton Fieldhouse as residents waited anxiously to see what former Mayor Lori Lightfoot uncovered. Nearly a year ago, Dolton trustees hired Lightfoot to figure out where the money was going.
I'm very disappointed.
Anthony Williams is a longtime resident who wanted to hear it firsthand.
Because I didn't know a lot of these things, and I don't think a lot of people in here knew.
The investigation discovered credit card spending was out of control and went unregulated.
The Board of Trustees, in many instances, was not able to even track or see credit card purchases that were being done over the last few years.
From 2022 to 2023, credit card usage jumped to nearly $780,000. Lightfoot could not determine what many of those purchases were for, or if any were for municipal purposes. Lightfoot says she hit many roadblocks from the administration.
There was a concerted, systematic effort on behalf of Mayor Henyard and others in her administration to hide the true financial condition of the village of Dolton from the trustees and from members of the public.
Much of what's in Lightfoot's final report was mentioned in her preliminary findings from last August.
I actually think it was a waste of taxpayer dollars.
It leaves those running for office and advocating for new change in Dolton to question the overall spending.
The guardians of the finances. Well, that's the whole legislative body, in my opinion. That's not only the mayor, but that's the trustees as well.
Yet current trustees say hiring Lightfoot was necessary to highlight whatever Henyard was hiding.
The minute that we stopped getting information, we knew that something was wrong. And we've gone through multiple years of trying to find a way to ascertain the information, and that's why Lori's report was essentially critical.
Now, you might recall there was about $40,000 in single spending on Amazon in a day that was previously reported by Lightfoot. Her report shows that Henyard claims that she made and purchased items for the village skate rink an ice rink, unfortunately, that has never opened to the public. And while tonight's investigation was eye-opening, we should note that this is not a criminal probe, and Henyard maintains her innocence in all of this. Reporting live in Dolton, I'm Jermont Terry, CBS News, Chicago.
Jermont, thank you. Lightfoot's report also talked about questionable spending in Thornton Township. Happening tomorrow, trustees will gather for the first time since a new trustee was sworn in last week.
The winner is Stephanie Wiedemann.
With this new trustee, the township will have a quorum regardless of whether Township Supervisor Henyard shows up. We're told there will be major developments regarding personnel at tomorrow's meeting.
Happy to hear the township can finally start meeting again now that Stephanie, the interim trustee, has filled that vacant position. With her in place, trustees Chris Gonzalez and Carmen can now meet and conduct township business in Thornton, whether Township Supervisor Tiffany Tahoe shows up or not. But back to Dolton. You still got clowns out here defending Mayor Porkchop, even though she locked out Dolton trustees from the finances for over a year, trying to cover up her reckless spending. In 2023 alone, her credit card spending in Dolton skyrocketed to over $700,000. And that's just Dolton. It doesn't even include Thornton Township, where she was also running wild. Before she got there, Thornton's credit card limit was like $30,000. She got it increased to like $200,000 and was spending like there was no tomorrow. Honestly, if I hadn't blown this story up on YouTube over a year and a half ago, she would still be getting away with it. Because the DA wasn't doing anything and the do-nothing governor, he wasn't doing anything either. The only people watching her before sounding the alarm were the good stand-up residents of Dolton, the real government watchdogs that's been calling her out from the beginning. They came out sounding the alarm to get people to shine the light on what was going on. So it's very clear she's been misappropriating funds, and since 2023, they've been asking me the same question. Where are the feds? But listen, trust me, they're on the way. Mark my words. Tiffany Tahoe will be indicted this year, sometime between April and July. The feds did not indict the people around her for nothing. It's coming. Let's go ahead and get the conversation started. Tell me what you think about this below. Special thank you to Roland C. I appreciate you, Roland, for all your support for the channel, as well as Creed, Charles H., and Samuel. You can show your support as well. The link to PayPal is below. Ladies, fellas, want a balanced analysis, want the truth from a woman's perspective? Then you're going to want to subscribe to this channel, and don't forget to like and share.